Hey, this is Brent with Lykins Motorsports. It's a Friday morning, 7:49 a.m. I'm on my way to the dyno with our 496 FE with the Weber carburetors. I didn't think that I was going to be able to dyno today. There's been all kinds of rain and thunderstorms and everything around us. And up until yesterday, the forecast was thunderstorms not only where I live, but where the dyno shop is. And I just don't like driving when there's a possibility of rain. I keep them bagged up in the truck, but after you dyno, they hold heat, and then when you bag them up, they sweat. So I don't like doing that if I can help it. And in addition to that, we had a death in the family, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to dodge the funeral service and that sort of thing. But it's Friday, and we've got a free day, so I thought I would surprise Mr. Dennis and slide down here. He didn't think that I was going to be able to do it today, so I had warned him of the circumstances and told him we'd probably have to reschedule. So hopefully this will be a surprise. But I've got about an hour drive ahead of me, and we'll get this thing on the dyno. Hopefully it won't be a pain to get all the linkages hooked up. I think I got that nailed down for the most part. But we'll be making some noise and be making some pulls. And the next time you hear from me, we'll be in the shop going over the dyno sheets. So stay tuned. Well, no good deed goes unpunished, I guess. I'm back home, and the engine, as you can see, is on the engine stand again. I've already spoken with Mr. Dennis about the goings-on, but we had what I believe is a lifter issue, and on the second pull that we made, it sounded like a valve, one single valve floated. So we shut it down, and when we went to fire it back up, it just didn't sound right, idling. So I got a heat gun and started digging around and found a dead cylinder, pulled a valve cover, found one rocker arm that was down a little bit further than the others. So what I believe happened, and we'll see if I'm correct here when I get the head off, but what I believe happened was either either a lifter lost the pump and didn't pump up, and then maybe let the push rod get out of hand and get up on the flat side of the lifter cup, and then open the valve a little too far the next time because it pumped up. Well, I really don't know. So it's a lifter issue. Obviously, we had plenty of piston valve clearance. We had correct lifter preload, but something happened in that course of that pull that went awry. So I try to be transparent and upfront with stuff. So I called Mr. Dennis on the way home and let him know that I had good intentions, but we had an issue. It did make 570 something on the first pull and 580 something on the second pull. So the rings were seating in, and then we lost the cylinder. So my throttle linkage bracket and everything that I had made up worked well, and got the carbs going pretty good. The thing sounded like a banshee. It just screaming at the top of a pull due to these little short stacks, but it had a good sound to it. No leaks, no issues, just a good running motor except for that. So what we're going to do is pull the intake off, and unfortunately, to get the intake off, I got to take the carburetors off because some of these bolts are underneath stuff that you can't get to. So all the carburetors have to come off, valve covers, rocker arms, and it was number 2 cylinder. So get that checked out. So I'm gonna take you guys with me so you can see what's going on. And we're gonna be ordering a valve and maybe even another set of lifters to go in the engine. So we'll see as we progress. All right, here's a look at what we got. This is number 2 exhaust. That's number 1 exhaust. That's what it should look like. So that's how far down it is. But one thing I've noticed is when I roll the engine over so that this lifter should be on the base circle of the cam, there is no lash. So that kind of tells me that the lifter is stuck up. I don't know. So we'll go ahead and pull all the rocker arms off now. Okay, rockers are off. Look at the marks, witness marks on the valve stem. So we got good little thin marks, except for this dude. That valve had lost control at some point, or when it bent, it was stuck up in a different position and started getting hammered. But here is that push rod. It's straight as an arrow. So dig deeper. All right, intake is off. So here's how everything should be. Only one side is going. Now this is a pond block, and the lifter bores come undersized. You have to hone a couple of thousandths out of each one. Obviously, I checked it on assembly, and even trial fit the lifters, checked everything. Even on the dyno, it ran for 10 minutes warming up and made some pulls. So I'm curious to see what's going on here. I'm gonna have to get a slide hammer and pull that out, but I'll show you in a second. So here's where we're looking at. I took the oil pan off and tried to drive this lifter up from the bottom, and I was swinging a 3-pound hammer in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and tear the complete engine down. Piston took a pretty good hit. This is pretty deep, and it was hammered right here near the ring land, and I'm really afraid that it's pinched the ring land there. So I think I'm gonna order a new piston and just totally tear the engine down. I'm really contemplating about my next step, and I think that I'm gonna have to cut this rivet out so this link bar will come out, and then I can drive the lifter down through the bottom after I get the cam out. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day on the video, and probably post an update once I find out what's going on. The lifter seems mushroomed at the bottom, so I'm thinking that either the roller failed or it spit a needle bearing out or something, because it is. I've had a slide hammer on it. I've had a 3-foot pinch bar trying to pull up on it. You can see I'm pulling on this as hard as I can. I can't even spin it. So that's where we are. All right, I am kind of mentally defeated right now. I know things happen, but it's kind of it's kind of crushing to me when it does, because I've got a backlog of stuff to do, and I got to redo this one. But we're gonna get it done right. All right, guys. Not really a video that I enjoy you watching, but I appreciate it. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you all next week. All right, here's a follow-up to what I found. I had to pull the engine all the way down. This lifter was scuffed. I I don't know if it was a lack of hardening or what, but it's only scuffed on the bottom part. I had to drive it out. I had to tear the engine completely down and drive it out from the bottom. It damaged the lifter bore pretty good, so we're going to have to bush that lifter bore. But I can't get a good measurement on it to see if it was out of round from the factory, but that's what we're looking at. So the pond blocks come with the lifter bores undersized, so we have to use a special hone to hone those lifter bores out, and we measure the lifters, and then we use it like a dial bore gauge, or like checking a bearing clearance. So we measure the lifter, set a dial bore gauge to it, and then hone until we get the proper clearance. So I'm very confident that we had proper clearance. I'm also confident that the lifter went in and I didn't have any problems putting it in, but something happened along the way, and it was oiling because it was pushing oil through the push rod. On either side of this lifter pair, the lifters were fine. They were oiling, no scuff marks or anything. So I really don't know what happened. And again, I'm not afraid of being transparent on things because when I first started building, one of my engine builder buddies told me, he said, just be prepared, because if you build enough, at some point in time, you'll have some problems. So even though I do everything to the best of my ability and check everything and do everything the best I know how, stuff happens. So I am replacing a piston, and Race Tech is making one for me right now. I will replace the rings on that piston as well, just in case the piston loads the ring pack a little bit differently. Got a new lifter pair. So we're going to put everything back to the way that it was, brand new, and send it again. So that is a follow-up. Sometimes things just don't go the way that you want them to go. All right, guys, just a follow-up video. Hope you guys are doing okay. I'll be seeing you.